Good morning from Los Angeles. It's Alissa, Coram, and Shreve here with your market update on this Wednesday. On today's show, we're going to be talking about stocks moving on their earnings reports, including Paycom software, Zendesk, and Vertex Pharmaceuticals. We also have match earnings coming up after the close. But first, let's take a look at the major indexes. We're down across the board. The NASDAQ leading on the downside, down about 0.5%. The S&P 500 down 0.4%, and the Dow down about 0.3%. So overall, what do you make of the action so far in today's session?
Yeah, so tech stocks leading the downside, kind of near session lows at this point. It was sort of a middling open for the stock market, mixed and mostly unchanged. A couple of big earnings reports in the software sector, not doing much for the NASDAQ today, but we're still in a confirmed uptrend. We're talking about the NASDAQ getting near that 7,500 level. You can see the daily chart here, and that 200-day moving average, plain as day, just under 7,500. We'll see if that ends up being a resistance level for the NASDAQ. But growth stocks under some pressure today. We're still in a confirmed uptrend. Very little distribution in the market, so we'll see how we'll close today.
That's right. A couple of growth stocks under, well, a lot of growth stocks under pressure, but a couple notable ones outperforming today on earnings, including Paycom software, gapping up on its quarterly report. Shares up over 9% in heavy volume. A strong report there. Better than expected earnings and sales. We have earnings growth of 24%, sales growth of 32%. So continuing strong double-digit growth, although slight deceleration on the bottom line, but still strong.
I mean, the enterprise software group, clearly one of the top performing areas of the market right now. Paycom has been a mainstay in our IBD growth screens for some time now. So really good results from Paycom. Nice gap up out of a cup-shaped base. It's near its session low, but still showing a really nice percentage gain. This is one of many providers of workforce management software, payroll processing. This software is really in high demand, and growth prospects still looking good for Paycom in terms of its annual estimates.
Right, so as far as what we would like to see today, you mentioned it is now in the lower half of its trading range, but ideally we would like to see it trading and closing in the upper half of the range.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, it's so a really bullish gap up for the stock. It's near its intraday low, but still showing a big percentage gain. So anytime a stock gaps up, you want to see a close at least in the top half of the intraday range. That just shows you that buying demand was consistent throughout the day. That's not the case right now with Paycom, but we'll see what the close looks like. Really strong numbers.
All right. Well, we're also seeing a gap up in shares for Zendesk today, currently up about 7% in massive volume here. It too is well off of that intraday high, but still up strongly nonetheless, extending gains after a recent breakout from a cup with handle base after its quarterly earnings report, also in the enterprise software group.
Yeah, a slightly different company than Paycom. Zendesk basically is sort of a customer service platform, so they help clients basically interact with customers not only on the phone and on email, but also social media, chat. So sort of a comprehensive customer service platform, but again, very, very strong demand for the company's services. And here again is an example of a stock that very similar to Paycom, gaps up out of a cup-shaped base. It has given back a lot of gains as the stock got close to the 80 level. So we'll see if we can get a close at least in the midpoint, or preferably in the top half for Zendesk. But really strong percentage gain here too.
That's right, and accelerating sales growth, that is always good to see. And we also want to take a look at Vertex Pharmaceuticals after its quarterly report. Those shares trading down a little over 1% in heavy volume, reversing lower. It's teetering in and out of buy range after recently breaking out of a somewhat messy double bottom after its quarterly earnings report, showing a third straight quarter of triple-digit earnings growth. So pretty strong.
Yeah, very strong, and really a high-quality biotech stock. That's why it's a member of Leaderboard. This was added right around that 187.86 buy point, but very, very profitable. 3 straight quarters of triple-digit earnings growth. I think 3 straight quarters where sales growth has been 30% or better. Big player in cystic fibrosis treatments, but kind of disappointing price action today. The numbers were really good. It was a big revenue beat for Vertex, but the stock has reversed lower, and we'll see what it looks like by the close. But again, a lot of growth stocks under pressure today, with the Nasdaq lagging in the early going.
And although we are seeing this downside reversal, it hasn't quite triggered a sell signal. Yeah, it's just not acting great.
Just not acting great. It was sort of a sluggish move over the buy point initially. We say to cut a loss in a stock when it falls 7 or 8% below the purchase price. So we're nowhere near that with Vertex. But really strong earnings report. Kind of disappointing price action.
Yeah, and we'll be getting earnings results from Match Group after the close. It's now trading about 8% below a prior high heading into the report tonight. And it's been running up quite a long ways since bottoming back towards the end of last year.
Yeah, really strong growth story here, bullish growth story for Match Group. Of course, they operate Tinder under their umbrella, but Match Group is just a real strong performer. It is down in heavy volume today ahead of the results, but we'll see what the results look like after the close. It is kind of been a resilient stock because Goldman Sachs earlier this week downgraded shares to sell with a 45 price target, but the stock has hung in there under a little bit of pressure today. We'll see what the results look like after the close.
And this stock is known to move pretty big in one way or another after its quarterly results. A gap down after the last quarterly report, but the report before that we saw a gap up in shares. So potential to move here for Match.
Yeah, some volatility, but it's been showing relative strength, strong move off lows, and wouldn't be surprised to see another quarter of strong growth here.
All right. Well, be sure to head to investors.com for all the latest stock news and analysis throughout the trading session as well as after the close. And you can also check out our content across social media. We are on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. So make sure you are following and subscribing for all the latest, especially important now that we are doing a show at the closing bell. So make sure you are joining us right here, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. We will see you then.